Welcome everyone. My name's Donna. I'm the owner of Riverside Beads, and this is a demonstration on one of our fabulous kits, which is going to be our beaded pen. And this is in our Heritage Bird range that we've been working in conjunction with Chloe Menage. And Chloe's a fabulous bead designer who created this exclusive range for us that is now available to purchase as kits. So this is the construction of the bead wrap. We've also got a tape measure, a beaded tape measure, which we've got as a kit. And then we've currently got our bead box members have also got a beaded needle case as well. So that is available as a one-off purchase as a needle case for a bead box member, as a non-member as well. And then in the future, and by the time you may be watching this on YouTube at all, then it may be available as a kit as well. So this is the pen, and this is how that you start to construct those. So this is not a full tutorial on peyote, nor is it a tutorial on the pattern. That is only available if you're purchasing that with us. But it is the principles of the peyote stitch and how the wrap works. So this wrap is ready to fit on the pen, which is also included within the kit. So I just want to show you the kit. You get a booklet there which Chloe has designed with all of the patterns on and everything you need. All of the beads are marked up with the number or the letter in this occasion that correlates with the pattern, and then there's the pen in there as well. You will need needle and thread of your choice. I tend to sway towards something like a Nymo or a KO for something like this, which is a nice strong thread to work with. And then with the pattern you'll get a combination of a chart, which is this here, and then you'll also get wording as well, which is this part here. And then the wording, so it's from Pink Hot Jewellery, as I say, Chloe Menage, and then the wording, you can follow whichever one works for you. So on this particular one, I'm on just the final stages. So this is just the last 4 rows, so I can show the process of doing the peyote stitch, but then show it zipping up onto the pen for you. So I've got the first row laid out. You can use something like a grid here that's got the different letters in, or you can use an independent grid and work straight from a bead mat, depending what works for you. Or on the bags we put the stickers for you, as you saw, and if you sort of give them a little pick and pull those off, you'll be able to use those. So if you had a regular bead mat, you could pop those where these letters are and then have them above there, so you can use those for reference as well. So there's a few options, and I'm sure those of you that have already done some beading have got some options of your own too. So this has been worked very carefully with this beautiful detail on our bird design here. So you've got the cute little British birds all carefully worked to work around the pen that you've got included as well within your kit. So everything that you need is there, and you can see those gorgeous designs. Okay, hopefully that shows you everything. So I'm going to just pop my pen over to one side, ready to use in a moment, and then I'll put my tape measure out of the way too. And then I'm going to start on the peyote process. So I'm following a pattern, as I say. I'm not going to particularly focus on talking you through the pattern because that's not the key to this. The key is going to be, let's just get the right angle for you. Okay, that's great. So I'm working here from my working thread, and the pattern will work from left to right, depending where you're at with it. So it's that way round, and I'm on my right design. I'm on row 39 of 42. 42 will wrap around this pen kit. So I'm going to be working this way down. So I've got these just here ready. Got them in the wrong order to not lean over you. So although it will say something like 5 A beads, it means 1 at a time with your A beads. So you're going to pick up 1 and you're going to come back down through here. You're going to pass through the next bead along. And you bring that in place. I'm just doing this carefully so you can hopefully see that nip in and sit in that lovely little dip, and that's what the peyote stitch is. You end up with a dip there that a bead will infill. So my next bead, I'm passing through the next one along. My next bead along. passing through that next one. Okay, that one didn't quite sit in. It's just a case of pulling your thread normally. Just double check that they sit in on each one that you do. So on bead number 4 of 5. If you're watching this live or you're watching back on YouTube, feel free to pop any questions. Myself and the team periodically pop back onto the channel and onto the Facebook Live when you're watching us live. So we aim for Wednesdays. Most Wednesdays we do that. Do a tutorial or some sort of live if we're able. So my next bead along I'm going to pick up is one of our D beads, which happens to be the Kingfisher's Foot there. So I've picked up one of those and I'm bringing that in place. What's wonderful about buying a kit with a pattern like this, it's all worked out for you. So if charts are not your thing and designing isn't your thing, this is all worked out. And then the principles are, this is the principle of your peyote stitch, along with a fabulous video that Chloe has done for us. That one didn't quite sit, so I'm just going to pull that back. Needs a bit of encouraging, and it's in there for me. Okay, and then I've got 9 of these. So as I say, there's a, if you buy one of our kits here, there's a video that Chloe's done just to show you these principles as well of peyote and explain it in her way. It's always good to get different viewpoints on how to do it. So I'm going to thread through and there'll be 9 of these to go. So just keep the thread out of the way there. If you can, just careful not to pass through it because you're sort of passing over the thread. Try to get it out of your way. So if you look at the chart with the colours of the bead on, you can start at this stage to work out that after I've done these 9, that should get me close to adding his feet onto the next little bird. As you can see, you'll be coming to the point where a foot needs adding. So let's just do a double count. I think I've got 1 to go. That one needs just tucking in. Okay, so then I've got 2 of these ones, which are 2 of my little D bead, which become the feet on the next bird along. So you can either go at it from that angle, you'll find your way, or you might want to go down, so you're sort of catching it there, whatever works for you. And I've got 1 more of these. So like I say, when it says 9, it doesn't mean thread all 9 on at once. It will be 1 at a time and then passing through a bead, but it'll be 9 of that colour. And that's how these charts will work to create these gorgeous designs. And then the final part for this particular row is 5 of these. And that, if the counting's right on it, will take me to the end of that row. So that's another checking point. So at every point you can pop it onto the chart and just sort of see where you're at. Use a little marker like a post-it note or something to see. But also each time you get to the end of a row and you think you've completed the numbers you should exit on that final one, ready to turn this and go the other way. Now, at this stage, if you don't like to go back the opposite way, which can be a bit awkward to put your hand that way and go through, you can flip your work. So in the pattern it will say go left because it means go back down there, but you can actually turn your work back round again which allows you to bead in the same direction, which is something that I do prefer to do. So I'm going to need 16 beads, one at a time now. Let me just count those over here just to get those sorted. So I'm going to pop back down this direction. So I'm just going to have a quick check of the chart here just to make sure that I've got this correct. Yep. So where I am on the chart, just to go through that with you, I'm down here on his little legs, and I can see that I've got 2 D's down and 1 across. And that represented here is 2 D's down and 1 across there on his little legs. So that's what I was just double checking to make sure. Just keeping an eye on it, making sure you're not crossing your thread over at any point, that you've not caught it, or every bead is sitting in place. This is a great item to make, and of course it's a pen, so it's usable, it's really functional, and you can refill the inks in them, so then you're going to get really good use out of this for many years to come. Now it's obviously a pen, so you want to make sure that you use a nice durable beads on there. And these pen wraps can work, and you can switch them about for all sorts of colours. Okay, so hopefully I had 16 of those. I don't think I quite did. Let me just double check. So we're going to want his foot sitting just in there, which kind of then you start to look at the bird and sort of go, yeah, I can see how that foot would fit in. So then again, checking the pattern, checking the chart, we know we've got 2 of these to bead. Do work on getting each row right. Take your time, get that right. If you miss one or go wrong, you know, you can either add a bead if you're happy to sort of bypass it, or if you feel you want to correct it, take your needle off, pick your thread back, and your beads will sort of all pop off as you pull them back in small sections, and then you can rebead. Okay, last beads, I'm coming out that row again. Okay, so because of the way I am wanting to bead in the same direction, I'm going to flip my work again. And then back down the other side. Now it's 23 A beads, 2 rows of those, and I'm going to explain why. I'm not going to finish that, but I'm going to explain why. So what happens then is we go round our pen. So what happens next is we're going to do this round. So we do need 2 more rows to completely finish this. So this will just give you an idea. So what you're going to want is a gap to put your piece on your pen. So there's a couple of possible places. Let's get that so I can thread that on. There we go. It could go there. So it could go between the feet of the robin and the top of the kingfisher. Or by the time we get our further 2 rows there, we should have a big enough space to pop it in there as well. So that's an option, but we should be able to spin that round after. Now it fits perfectly in the gap between the top there and the rubber part there. So we would want 2 more rows, and these rows we would probably bead on our pen anyway. Certainly the final row, but we should be able to bead this one on the pen. So we ought to probably do that. But it won't do up actually if I do that, because I'll need to do the remaining 2. So let me just sort of take it off the pen, but explain to you how it would work. So you would always wrap it around the pen, always do that, and zip it on the pen. You can't get it on; it won't go over this bit if you do it and then want to add it after. But you can see that the little teeth there need to match up. So they need to go, the little kind of bricks, I suppose, that they need to all marry up beautifully there. So then what we would do is we would take this needle and we would pass down through that bead there. We would bring that in, and that would start to knit that in there. But we would take this then up to that next step there, bring that in there, and that brings that down, and you see that pulls that in place. So then we're going to weave a process here of, let's get that so it's in focus for you. So then we weave through here, up through there, down through that one. So that's the gap there, and we thread through those to bring it all together. So through the beads that are sticking out until that all comes together. But that, remember, that would be over the pen, okay? So that process of weaving down through there, so that shows that how that works, but it would be on top of the pen, so down and up all the way through the pen. And then, like I say, that won't go, it would go over at this stage, but then you'll pull that, it will have 2 more rows in there, and that will be fully complete. And you will have yourself your gorgeous beaded bead pen. Beaded bird pen even. Absolutely stunning. And the design, obviously, we've got on the tape measure and then on the needle case. So we've got some fabulous usable little sets with this. So this is all available from Riverside Beads, exclusively designed by Chloe of Pink Hot for us, and available only from us as a kit as well. So thank you so much for everyone watching live. I do hope that shows you everything you need to know. The finished examples are all over our socials and all on our product kit as well, which there'll be links in everything to show you where to look for these. So if you do fancy trying this, you're going to need yourself some beading needles, some thread of choice. These ones are a really great little set, especially with the case to get started. And then some Nymo, which comes on rolls like this. Gone for something quite neutral with this one. A white, cream, greys, that sort of thing work rather well. So I hope that shows you what you need there. I'm going to sit and finish off my last 2 rows, sit this together, and then I've got my pen finished. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you for our next tutorial soon.